With the advent of background rendering comes a lot of efficiency, but it also comes with the need to clear out your render files on a more regular basis. After all, if the application is performing media processing under the hood during the entire time you're working, there will no doubt be more media that you won't end up using in your final project. So in this movie, we're going to explore how to perform some much needed housekeeping. Now, there are actually two ways to clear render media in Final Cut Pro 10, by deleting project render files and by deleting event render files. Let's first talk about how to get rid of project render files. I'm going to first come to my 12.2 sequence. You can select the project and then come to File and Delete Project Render Files. Now this dialog box pops up and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's telling you that deleting your project render files clears up your drive space and that it can't be undone. So if you want to clear up your render files on a per project basis, you can choose this option, and then you can always re-render your effects and video later on if you need to. Let's go ahead and delete these render files. Now, as of Final Cut Pro 10.1, you can delete more than one project's render files at once. Just Command-click on multiple projects, or press Command-A to select them all, and choose the same command, File, Delete Project Render Files. This is really useful, especially since before 10.1, you had to do this project by project. Now, there is one more way you can delete render files, though, and that's at the event level. So in this case, you can select as many events as you want. So I can go ahead and just select both my farm to table and castles events. And then I can come up to File, and then I can say Delete Event Render Files. Notice that Delete Project Render Files is no longer even an option here. When you have events selected, this is the one that you see. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And so at the event level, you can choose whether to delete all render files or just the unused render files. Here we'll choose to delete just our unused render files. And again, we've cleaned up our waste. So in general, it's a good idea to go through and clear out your render files every few weeks. This is especially true if you leave your default background rendering value at a low number, like the default value of 5 seconds, because you could potentially end up with hundreds of unused render files without really realizing it. I've literally known editors to clear up hundreds of gigabytes of space this way. So good render file management is just another way of keeping your project and your editing environment as organized as possible.